Hi and welcome to the daily reading for August 4th. And like every other day this year, we're doing the readings from Jesus Calling by Sarah Young, and it's Enjoying Peace in His Presence. Great little book, it's a soft cover. It's also available in a turquoise when I bought mine, so that was a gorgeous colour. I decided this was more Bible-like, and it was the one that called me in last September actually. So here we go, August 4th. Ooh. Hold my hand and walk joyously with me through this day. Together we will savour the pleasures and endure the difficulties it brings. Be on the lookout for everything I have prepared for you. Stunning scenery, bracing winds of adventure, cosy nooks for resting when you are weary, and much more. I am your guide, as well as your constant companion. I know every step of the journey ahead of you, all the way to heaven. You don't have to choose between staying close to me and staying on course. Since I am the way, staying close to me is staying on course. As you focus your thoughts on me, I will guide you carefully along today's journey. Don't worry about what is around the next bend. Just concentrate on enjoying my presence and staying in step with me. And this ties in with John 14 verse 6 and Colossians 4 verse 2. So this August the 4th reading, I missed 3 days, so this is actually going back a couple of days, August 4th. And I was actually out for a very long walk on August 4th. And that long walk led me into a church that I didn't know because I had missed my online service in the morning because I had an early start, which is why I didn't do the reading. But there was an open church door and the service started, in the next couple of minutes. And I thought, I'm just going to go in there. I felt guided to go in there. And I just wanted to sit at the back of the church. And it was, totally different worship to the worship that I am used to. And the worship that I'm used to is over and done with within an hour. And I sat there and I sat there and I sat there and I was, mesmerized by a lot of it. And I was thinking, oh gosh, this is different. And I was uncomfortable with other bits of it. And I kept trying to tell myself, that this is where you're meant to be. This is where you're meant to be. And then I thought, what time is it? It seems like this has gone on forever. So I kind of snuck a peek at my phone and it was like an hour and 45 minutes later. And I thought, and it's still not done. So my patience was wearing a bit thin and I was hot because there was no air conditioning in the church. It was a very old little church. And it was interesting because I knew that there was going to be communion because they'd asked me when I came in whether I was going to take communion. And I said, no, I wasn't. I was just going to sit at the back. And so when they started communion, I thought, that's my time. I'm kind of going now because I don't know how long after communion this service is going to go on. I've never been in a service that's gone on more than like an hour and 10 minutes. And I know we shouldn't limit our time when we worship, when we're spending time with God, but it just was, it was just different. And so I snuck out and it was like just over the 2 hours that I'd been in that church. And it was still going. The service was still going. And these people it was interesting because the last time I went to a church I didn't know, it was very quiet and silent and serene, and it was a Catholic church, and this one that I went to was a Baptist church, and it was the absolute opposite. It was noisy and it was joyful and it was loud and it was like just, I'd never been to anything like that before. I had been to Catholic services before, so I knew what I was expecting there. And it led me for the rest of the day to ponder why I was there, why I had been led there, not thinking of it as 2 hours of my life I would never get back, because I knew there was a purpose for it. And maybe it was to work out in the way that I worship. Sometimes I'm too, in that church, that joyful church, I was too embarrassed, too uncomfortable to join in, with the arms and the clapping and the tambourines, all that kind of stuff. It wasn't it wasn't comfortable for me. And in the Catholic Church, also like the kneeling down, it wasn't comfortable for me, so I didn't do that either. So it's somewhere in the middle is my Church of Scotland way of worship. But there's no wrong way of worship. There's no right way of worship. I think there just is worship in the way that's comfortable for you, and connecting with God and Jesus in the way that's comfortable for you. And I've told you that story, and it purely because it was about walking with Jesus and the direction never being wrong. That He's always with us and He always knows a step ahead, and not to worry about what's round the bend. And it was that I think was leading me, even though I didn't read this on Sunday. It's that what was leading me on Sunday to go into that church, was that I knew that it wasn't wrong to go in there. That whatever would happen. So I invite you just to be open to whatever is round the bend for you today. Namaste. Love to you all. Bye now. Bye.